Okay.
All yours, Guillermo.
Thank you, Pancho, and thank you, Christoph. Very interesting talk, and I more than giving you ideas, I will steal ideas from you because a lot of interesting stuff you have shown. So let me share my screen now. I guess. Well, this is. Can you see the screen or? Sure.
Yep.
All right. All right. So this is a bit about this project. This was a personal project that started a while back as a way of researching web technologies such as React and different things. So there is I can switch now. There is some sort of landing page here. Are you seeing the browser? Because sometimes PowerPoint does some tricky stuff with my displays. Are you seeing the website.app, the browser, or just the presentation?
We can see the browser. Yes, it's not
all right.
full screen. It's like
all right. No, yeah. Well, this is some sort of landing page. I just wanted to show this because, there is besides the public repo, there is this Gitbook documentation where the API is well documented. So I mentioned that because website. I mean, the most important piece of this project became an API, a REST, quote unquote, REST API that aims at standardizing the way we can communicate to a Smalltalk system, provided that a Smalltalk system has some good properties such as high reflexivity. So with this initial project, when I wanted to have a React app, and then it became some sort of IDE, I turned a Smalltalk system as a backend. So provided as a given Smalltalk system has this API served somehow with some web server, it is possible to interact with it and use this IDE. So in order to exemplify, I have in my machine launched different Smalltalk dialects. For instance, Faro. That's some ports. So there you have. So so I have implemented the full API, which is essentially a bunch of endpoints, and I have launched it into Faro in this case. So it is possible to access through directly by sending requests, like for instance, I don't know, classes point, and then you have the class point, and then you can continue pulling things like methods of a class point, and then go a bit further. Okay, have here one, and with
if
this
if you can maximize the browser, it will be yeah, that's better. Or maybe even zoom a little bit because it's a bit small. Is it zoomable?
Yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. I just wanted to exemplify that this API, which again is a bunch of endpoints, like for retrieving code, for evaluating expressions, for retrieving objects, like most of the thing you can do from an IDE, you can do it from these endpoints. So with this, it is possible. Let me go back. Let me go here to the IDE itself. I have here again some Smalltalks already launched. So let's connect to Faro. I can even turn it light. So with this, it is possible to bring like the same as we were seeing before. So you have like typical browsers searches, like everything in terms of code, senders, some handy see if I can tooltips, like, well, a bunch of endpoints related to code allow me to bring all this stuff to the browser. Again, in this case, Faro, I can switch to a different Smalltalk, and I can have the same. And even more than that, so there are some endpoints for evaluating stuff. So anywhere you can type as in any IDE, you have the same behavior. You can even debug. So for instance, let's go. And you have more or less the same debuggers you can find everywhere. And with some useful things. But again, I don't want to spend a lot of time in the tool per se. I mean, it's a fully operational IDE that even when it is almost impossible to come up with a common set of tools that you can find in a given or in the union of all the IDEs, taking all the IDEs of Smalltalk. And for sure, there are some features and options and tools that you can find at a given specific Smalltalk. You might say, okay, this is super cool and I want that. But yeah, it's specific for your stuff, for that Smalltalk. It is difficult to evaluate, okay, should we include that into an IDE that is aimed to be common to every Smalltalk. But despite that, I've been working on trying to make this thing more flexible in the sense that all the options that you can find here are retrieved. In fact, everything on this front-end application or IDE relies on the backend. So for instance, let's take the bunch of refactorings that you can apply in Faro, we are connected to Faro. So then you have here like some of them that I implemented by means of some sort of extensions. So this move to package here that will ask me for a package to move this method is implemented by means of a Webside extension. So if the refactoring was moved to package. So let's see if we can find it here. Let's type here. Probably this is it. I'm not sure, but essentially, JSON that specifies this that this refactoring, which is reified as this class in Faro, whatever, can be invoked through the API before prompting the user some parameters like the I don't know, the method or whatever, and then it will be handled by the very same class, right? So in this way, it is possible to take any new. I can do it. I can go. The last time I blocked refactoring, I guess, is a software class. So I picked this equal and hash. Okay, so given a class, let's divide this and add a new browser here and create a, I don't know, what is this? Let's create a new class. I don't know, Isha, sorry. New class. It's another way to go. Is that okay? I don't know what happened with Isha. And let's add some variable there. I don't know. Hey, lot imagination. Let's minimize this. We don't need it. And well, that refactoring essentially creates a couple methods, equal and hash. So let's bring that to this IDE. So what we need to do is to that method website extension, which is a hook extension. So I will just steal that from somewhere else, like okay, let's take this, go back here and implement it here. And okay, so this type of extensions are changes. Well, that's the name that I gave to refactorings, and every change applies in a given type of meta level object. And here is the important to mention that there is, even when it tries, this IDE tries to be as agnostic as possible with regard to the backend, to the target Smalltalk. It assumes some concepts such as classes, methods. Some things are assumed. So, and the other day I was talking to you, Elliot, and I told you that yes, the idea is to minimize the things that this front end and the API assumes about the semantics and the things you can find in the target Smalltalk, in favor of making them configurable and focusing on, if you will, clever ways to display information. But in this case, it assumes that, okay, there are methods. So this, classes, for instance. So this refactoring applies on a class and essentially has a name, a label, generate, I don't know, equal and hash, something like that. And these are the properties that the front end will actually send back to the server. So, and this type means that it will be enabled whenever you are seated on a class. It will expose this extension, this refactor in this case. So let's suppose that we are in a class. So there are some handy ways to access some properties of the element. In this case, I want the name, and I guess I don't need variable. Yeah, nothing else. So this is the configuration of this refactoring in order to bring it to the front end. And if you take a look at the instance side, it essentially requires the variables. Sometimes it has the variables, an array of variables. So what I will do is to these are two methods that are used by Website, by the implementation of the API. So I will take the one of the super class and I will redefine it by saying, okay, variables are the ones that the class instance variable names. Okay. And you see the this auto completion again is somehow connected. I mean, there is an endpoint for retrieving completions given a piece of code. So again, the front end doesn't try to be clever on that route. So having these two methods compile, we can now go to, and let's put here, there is a, guess, let me search implementers. There was another property, this properties section is like where in the menu, so the front end will try to use this information to place the option. So so here we should now see the new option, and if we pick it, it will go back to the backend. So the backend will instantiate this thing that Faro guys already had in place, and will try to apply it. And whenever something goes wrong, well, there is a mechanism to manage the errors in the sense that, for instance, all these, let's suppose that I try to compile here a method that says TA, right? And so again, this is implemented by a refactoring, which is add method, whatever. And it will fail at the first attempt because T is undefined. So it will bring back, if we expect, let me inspect here the dialog with the server. Let me increase the one here, and let's see what happened. So it sent to the backend like one of these refactorings or changes or whatever, and with this information. And as a response, it got something like this. So not only the reason that for a reason, yeah, behind this failure, but also these property suggestions that well, I haven't added all the options Faro offers in this kind of situations. Like you can define T not only as a temporary variable or as an instance variable, but you can define it as a global and blah, blah, blah. But in essence, what these suggestions is okay, here, if you decide to accept this suggestion, the code will be this. And again, this is generated from Faro in this case. So the front end is completely ignorant about Smalltalk semantics and how this was generated. And if you want to declare it as an instance variable, well, the change is, instead of being just one with a slightly difference in the code, it is composed by two changes. First, adding another change, and then applying this change, and then applying this one. So so if I, for instance, select this, okay, this is what in turn is sent back to the server. So I accepted the first suggestion with the first change with this pipes there, and it is sent back, and it is approved. So changes or refactorings is one of the areas or dimensions in which this IDE can be extended. And there are a couple more, like it is possible to have some hooks to display objects in different ways. I can show that in file like, okay, let's, for instance, inspect a class. So here, this comment here is Markdown. Yeah, it's Markdown. And if we take a look at the class definition, I guess this is the defining the class definition there. There for sure will be website views. So this is the hook, and a class description has, again, some JSON stuff that the backend provides to the front end. So the front end, whenever you inspect an object, it will require the custom views. If that object has the custom views, we can see that again behind the scenes. Let's go back here and inspect the class point. So for sure, there is an evaluation first, because we are evaluating an expression, in this case, the string point, and then we are given an ID with the resulting object, and we are retrieving that object, right? So this is the object, and this is like some properties. Some of them are fixed, but at some point in time, the front end will say, okay, give me the custom views of this object, right? So it points to the object, and then it says, okay, give me that if there is any custom views of this object. And in this case, it comes with a markdown type. There are a bunch of types that you can pick, with this title and this code. So the result will be this in the front end, right? So this is more or less, I mean, I can disconnect from here, go to another language, and the thing is more or less the same. You for instance, you won't find here, if I go to class whatever point, point, you won't find for sure options here, because I haven't implemented in the Smalltalk, right? So I should go back here. So yeah, well, some experiments, not only to communicate Smalltalk, I made a few experiments about around communicating to different dialects and try to make them to accomplish some task, or to play chess, for instance. I showed that in a previous talk. It is also possible to put actively some agent to talk to this Smalltalk by teaching the API. So a couple scenarios where this has proven useful. One is remote debugging, where we are using it. I mean, Smalltalk is the Smalltalk we use in our team for developing and maintaining a big application. So we are using it internally. And this allows me to improve the thing, to fix bugs, to continue, making it better. But also we are in like two things. First, we are working now on a server, and it's proven useful for remote debugging. Like you have headless process over the network, and you can plug this thing and debug it. Another scenario or case is Smalltalk, which is a new runtime. And well, the first target was Node. It can be target to JavaScript, so it runs on top of JavaScript VM. But yeah, we have like a headless thing. We can I don't know, from the command line play with it, but instead of doing that, we can at least implement some of these endpoints and being able to as I shown before, to access to it. So here you see I have this is for real X Smalltalk was somehow bootstrapped, and I think I can evaluate here. So let's try that. Yeah, it works. So this API, instead of being implemented in X Smalltalk, it is implemented outside only because this works. I think I have it here. Yeah. So this is essentially first transpiled. I mean, the interpreter is transpiled from file. There is a bootstrapping process. But the point is that from the outside, there is an implementation of the API that essentially digs or access illegally from behind to the running VM or to the runtime, and essentially pulls objects and things and translate them into JSON. That is what the API requires to work. But in the end, you have this already running. So now, if I can compile, I don't remember if we already have that, Ocho, but if we can compile, I think I could. So I can now implement the API inside Egg instead of implementing it from outside JavaScript. So, and this is part of the work we are trying to push and yeah, together to continue improving Egg. But so, well, I'm not going into detail. I mean, the API is divided or into these areas. These extensions is the for the moment the important or the hotspot, because we are trying to again reduce the things that the API assumes in order to make it more flexible. But going back to kind of thing that we saw before, really interesting stuff. I made some. Let's go to Farah. Let's. I don't know if you prefer light or dark, but here in the settings, there is a some sort of code assistant, and it is using OpenAI, but I will change to Grok, which is a free. I mean, it's not paid. So let me see if I can find my Grok key here. So yeah, have some key. And refresh this, and probably this model. I just leave the temperature like that. And here's like a general system message that can be changed. Well, it can be under some or for some specific functionality that will be changed underneath, but it can be edited. So let's apply that. Let's see if these work. And well, the type of experiments that I've been doing, besides I don't know, going to even better magnitude. For instance, let's find something interesting. I don't know. some well, besides things like, okay, explain me this code, which are like the first things one tries to do, or even improve this code. You know, let's ask it for that. Probably it says this method does not handle the case where a number is 0, and well, anyway, it just added this clause here. But besides that, well, requesting it to write a test for this, or a bunch of tests. These are like handy shortcuts to request things, and well, if propose this, so let's go to the number test is the name of the class. Number test. Does it exists? And compile that and see what happened. I pass it. So yeah, so I can start discussing with the thing with the. I have to say that I am skeptical about things that we can. Even though what I think that we should pay attention to this, I'm still skeptical about the kind of intelligence, if you will, that these things can have. So let's go to another example. Okay, there the IDE is whenever the this code assistant is enabled, it turns on many options, like for instance suggest me a category for this method or this kind of things. But what if we say something like okay, let's start from scratch and give me as for I don't know, simple bank account management. So requesting tests. So here I have some tests with some class, I don't know. So we can try this. Of course, it will fail because there's no bank account thing, I guess, in FAR. So let's create that. So the idea, I mean, the thing that the kind of experiments that I made, and I tried to write some benchmarks, were some of them in the line of, okay, requesting generating code, right? Generating code following some yeah logic, like in this case was like free, give me a bunch of tests, but then give me code that passes that test, or even better, let's take I don't know, date test, and okay, I have some useful test there. Generate code that passes that test, and once the thing provides that, okay, we can create or yeah, install the code. So here I have some date class, some I don't know, some methods. So let's think for a moment that this has some sense and it's correct. So I ran several benchmarks on following this line. So requesting code that passes some test, then running the test, then on a failure or in front of an error, going back to the LLM and say to him, okay, I had these errors, fix them. And for that reason, I asked Christophe about the kind of information that he provided back to the LLM. And I tried different approaches, like, for instance, providing more context, like, okay, I have this message not understood. So, but if you want, you can use this function call to retrieve the protocol that this object has, or take the list of selectors that this object understands, and well, run I don't know, 2 attempts, and I think I have let me see if I can bring some fire image. Probably here. I don't remember if this is the image. So, so what I in general, what I can say is that it recovered most of the times in front of failing tests. So not only generating tests is something that might be useful, but also to ask it to generate code that passes tests, or even to generate more cases in terms of tests, or even ask it to increase the coverage of the test over some code. I'm not sure if I will, let's see what we have here. Oh, these are, no, well, these probably is a bit old, but yeah, this benchmark essentially selected not random, but a set of methods, and for all of them, several times requested the thing, and I used OpenAI, I used Grok, I used different models. I changed different providers with different models with different parameters. So you see the dimensions when you try to seriously establish the conditions of a benchmark are like infinite. So the combination of parameters. But in this particular case, well, a bunch of methods just give me 10 tests for this, and then when I got the test, so the benchmark got the test, it runs the test, and on a failure goes back to the LLM and say, okay, I have this failure. So the LLM try to recover, to fix what it did wrongly, and then again and again and again. So most of the time, so this green, these are like, well, these are probably not the best method set, but most of the time, what I see in this type of benchmarks is that LLM, in this case, OpenAI, fixed what it did wrong at the first attempts, during the first attempts. So probably in the future I will publish something about this, because this is like a draft, super draft work. But yeah, I have some benchmarks defined here, and but going back to the to website, I mean, yeah, I have this. I can start discussing about this code. I can paste the code and things like that. But I think I'm much time. So yeah. Well, some experiments on the type inference, but again, this to me look, it's more on the magic side of things. Or yeah, well, there, for instance, I remember doing some of these with you, Pocho. I don't know if you remember the kind of things that you were trying, and we decided to ask this guy, what about the type of these this expression? I don't remember the expression. Do you remember, Pocho? We were
No, I
surprised.
can't remember that part.
Okay, well, probably if we, well, probably I'm just 5 minutes, so probably I should go back here. So some experience on the inference, type inference path. Well, the other day during the small talks, I tried to elaborate a bit about this. It is something that I personally think with regard to AI. Even again, I need more evidence and more benchmarks and more and more and more in order to be, I mean, to gain some confidence on what this can do. However, for sure, as a starting point, I mean, instead of having a blank page, it is better. And my point is that, okay, I don't trust these things. Let's assume that I am radical at that point. But in my experience, I noticed that this, whenever I am personally thinking about something, immersed in a problem, the kind of things these agents or models can say sometimes are a bit far from my line of thought. And in those cases, I find that only that is useful, as it makes me, or made me think a bit aside from what, again, my line of thought was. So yeah, to me, we are in better than nothing, between better than nothing and semi-reliable things, at least from the point of view of my experiments. Again, I decided to include all these tools. We are considering more things to include here, at least because one thing that I am sure is that this is really fun, right? So give a class for Batman. It failed. Probably this is free, and I have reached my limit. So let me go back to. Let's bring here the E of this, and let me use this model, and let's apply this, and let's repeat that. All it's going to do, but the other thing that I have to say about this implementation, it is super, I would say, yeah, it's tightly attached to Smalltalk. So on the prompting side, you have the prompting side, which deserves a lot of thinking, careful thinking. I mean, they're like, I probably nowadays careers about prompt engineering, but and then there is the interpretation or processing of the output. So there, and then in between you have RAGs, you have fine tuning, you have many tools like function calling, many tools that can help in circumscribing the LLM to like my system, my image, whatever. So again, this is super fun, and I can start doing things just for fun, and it's okay having fun, but going being a bit more serious. Yeah, I'm still skeptical about what can do with this, right? Not with the Batman class because. But yeah, so I'm probably out of time now. Until you tell me. Um, Let me see if I had something else. So, well, on the website, their project, there are a lot of things to do besides AI. Yeah, many are things like yeah, traits. I mean, it's there are some dialects that they don't offer traits. Traits. Faro, probably Gemstone is offering traits in one of these. Yeah, current version. Probably I don't know, but things like that like are super specific. How to manage that? Uh, be it in as extensions, that probably is the way to go, or including them into this common set that this IDE or the API tries to yeah to be super careful about. Like um, my first option is okay. Let's treat that as an extension for that specific dialect rather than including that into the common set of options. And when I mean common, it's common to every dialect. So yeah, I think I'm done. Any question?
Okay, thank you very much. I have a question actually. So all the experiments that you've been doing. So when you ask you when you wrote in the prompt like give me a class for Batman or things like that.
Yeah.
So you were giving it a text and then it goes through you ask GPT or the model that's behind that, and then it comes with some other text which is Smalltalk code. But there was nothing like what Christoph was showing us, like where the what you get back, the text that you get back tries to be evaluated in a Smalltalk or compile or anything like that. No, did I get it? Did I get the idea right? Or
Yeah, well, there is again, you whenever you prepare the context and the prompts, you specify there is something called I don't remember exactly, but nowadays all these providers have the same API, but you can specify the format in which you will obtain the response from a model. And if you don't do that, you can try being and insisting on every prompt. So give me the code in this format. So yeah, it is possible. I mean, I would say it's straightforward, and I disabled that option in this version because but it is straightforward. Once you have a piece of code, being a class definition, being a bunch of methods to compile them, because it's essentially what the API enables. So once it got the method definition, can just send that to the backend and compile it. To me, it's a bit risky to have that, but yeah. On the other side, I haven't shown that, but I have used these tools, these function calls for instance, retrieving senders, implementers, class definitions, and even evaluations. So evaluate that. I have tried by means of function callings, function calls, and the question that I asked Christophe, to me it's unclear how to force the LLM to use them unless you say use them. And there is I think Christophe showed something like that. There are some flags that these APIs offer you to say, okay, use the tools always, or use these tools no matter what I ask you. Because if I ask you, okay, what time is it? Makes no sense to use the tools you give it. But to me, it was more like, okay, you have these tools. You say the model, okay, you have these tools. You can browse code. You can ask for definitions. You can even evaluate code. And then I can talk to you in a natural language. So whenever you need it, use them. And in my experience, it is unlikely that it uses unless I am super again uh, without using these flags, like forcing the thing to use the tools. uh, it is unlikely in my experience that it detects that, okay, you are asking me how to, I don't know, obtain the area of a rectangle, so I should probably go to rectangle class and then retrieve the methods and then see if some of the methods retrieves the area. So this kind of thinking that a human programmer will probably follow, I haven't seen it by interacting with these things, even when it has the tools to use them, right? That's in my experience. But again, I'm speaking from a very modest place where I have just made a few tests and I am still testing the thing.
I think this is something which you actually could achieve pretty well by using by using an extended prompt in your system methods. So if they describe some common behaviors, like if they see an error, then then look up the selectors of a class, or if you want to know how a class works, then request the source code. I think you can do a lot of this. Not everything fine-tuning would be required for having a better intuition of that, but for basic patterns, I think this should work pretty well.
Okay. So, okay, guys, thank you very much for the time. And thank you, Pancho, for the chance to share this. And,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, it's a bit late here, and we've been like having this session for almost 2.5 hours. So we hope to publish these videos in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, hope to see you. There will be no presentation or nothing scheduled for December. Yeah, Christmas time, and so yeah, until next year, 2025.
thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Guillermo. Thank you, Christoph, and see you next year.
Thank you.